Hello friends, this is your host Monish from DevLoose Talks. Today we are going to see the virtual networking in the virtual box. When we create the virtual box, we have quite a few different options to create the network, and we are going to see one by one what are the options, what are the differences between the networks, and how we can utilize what's the best combination to use with one permission with one type of the network adapter versus the another one, and what are the benefits, pros and cons of each and every one, and how does it work. So if we go to the if we select the any of the virtual machine, try to go to the settings, and within the settings you go to the network. You'll see the option for the different kind of network which we can attach to our virtual machine. So right now if I click, we have different options: NAT, bridge adapter, internal network, host only adapter, generic driver, NAT driver, cloud network, and the not attached. Here in this video I'm going to discuss quite a few which are commonly used. That includes the NAT, the bridge driver, the internal network, host only adapter, and the NAT network. So other ones are not frequently used. So generic driver, cloud network, this is the experimental and not attached, is just like simply which is not attached to anything, so without the network. So the main one I'm going to discuss, not the all of them. So let's get started with the net network. There are two different type of adapters are there. One is the NAT and there is one net network. There is inherently these are two different of things. You should not mix one with the another one. There is a subtle difference between these two. I'm going to cover that. So keep tuned. I'll proceed now. So first of all, we see what are the NAT network. Okay, guys. There are two important concepts that we need to consider. One is the terminology which we use, NAT. If you already know about it, that's fine. But for those who do not understand, NAT stands for Network Address Translation. Network Address Translation. What is network address translation? Network address translation is means so you have your home network, your computer is running here, and this is typically attached to a router, and router is basically the connection of your external network. The connection is coming to the router, and router is responsible for transferring on the network to the different host machines which are on the one network. One is your computer, one is your no, partner's computer, and there may be any other devices. So router is responsible for transferring the traffic from here to there, and from here to there, and any of the traffic which is coming the other way, it's responsible to send the traffic meant to be sending to the that particular device for which the traffic is trying to intend. It's just not like this traffic is going here and it should go here. So this computer's traffic will only go here, and so on. So how does it happen? It happens with the help of network address translation. Within the network address translation, the network address of this particular machine is translated to the external network, and the external network traffic is translated to internal one machine IP or the addresses. That's the whole purpose of the network address translation. So yeah, try to rub it now. Okay, the another important uh, concept in the and trying to understand the virtual networking is the DHCP. DHCP. DHCP is another service on the network which stands for Dynamic Host Control Protocol. This is responsible for allocating the IP addresses. Allocate IP address. IP address. So this IP address, every machine which is on your network, if it needs to talk to the internet or it needs to talk to the any other computer, it needs to have the IP addresses. Without IP addresses, it wouldn't be able to communicate one with the other one. So IP address would be there for this one, and there would be IP address for this machine, and there would be an IP address for this machine as well. Let's choose a different color pen. Okay. So there would be separate different IP addresses for all the devices, and once you have the separate IP addresses, then only it's possible for this particular computer or literally any other computer to talk to the external world, have the internet connectivity, and talk to the another machine. If it machines doesn't have the IP address, it wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff. So how does it happen in the in the modern day network? Like a router is responsible for allocating the DHCP service as well. So router is basically is doing two things. It does two things. It works as a NAT server, which is basically for translating the traffic from one of the system to the outer world, and from the outer world to that particular system only. The another service it provides is DHCP. These are two different services, but in modern day networks, router is doing all these two things together. Okay, so these are two important things. Now this is the general, like how normal computer works or the network works in your home or the office system. I just wanted to give you an overview before starting with our discussion. Okay, let me rub this one. Let's start with the another one now. Okay. First thing first. So what is NAT? NAT stands for Network Address Translation, as we discussed previously. So what it does, VirtualBox provides a piece of software, so which sits here. This is a virtual router. You can say this is the virtual router. What it does, it provides two things. One is the NAT service, and the second thing it provides the DHCP. So any of the machine which you are drawing, any of the machine which you are drawing, which you are launching, basically sits behind of this virtual router. This is your virtual machine which you are launching, and basically it gets its uh, NAT service and the DHCP service from this virtual router. So if you create another virtual machine, what happens then? If you create another virtual machine, suppose that you have created another virtual machine. So this virtual machine, for this virtual machine there would be another virtual router would be there. There would be a virtual router, and it will also provide you with the NAT and DHCP services. So one thing to keep note, it always provides only one particular type of IP address only each and every time you launch. So for example, it will have um, the IP address of 10.0.0.0.0.0 10.2.15. It will also have the IP address, same IP address, 10.0.2.15 always. So this is the one thing, so it always allocate the same IP address no matter what, how many virtual machine you launch. For each and every virtual machine there would be a virtual router, and this virtual router is responsible for allocating a machine on the net and the DHCP on the same network. So here on the virtual network, so basically what happens, uh, so whatever the software, this is the Oracle VirtualBox software which is doing the magic. This is the Oracle VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, who is doing all this magic. But this is connected to your, should use another color, draw. It is using this your CPU or the host machine where you are launching the Oracle VirtualBox network card. Network card. So this network card provides the internet connectivity to the outside world. You think of this as the CPU and the network card. CPU, and this provides, this is the network card which is providing the internet connectivity, and here is the Oracle VirtualBox who is providing the service to your virtual network. The beauty is that it provides the DHCP service also. That means it will have the internet connectivity. So this one will have the internet connectivity via your router. Internet connection. Okay. So you'll have the internet connection with the net network. Hope this thing is clear to you. I can proceed to the next one if you want. One thing to note that these machines will not have the internal internet connectivity. So that means any of the connection request, if you try to ping from here to here or here to here, it will not work. It will not work. No internet connectivity. Why this is so? There is no internet connectivity because these two machines are on the different network. This is the network 1 and this is also network 2, but both are exactly the same. These are two different networks. Different. So these are two different networks. That's why they will not have the internet connectivity, although the IP address is same. This is these virtual machines are not able to see each other. These virtual machine will still be able to ping their host connection. So if there is a host machine, they try to ping the, it's allowed, ping from here to there and there to here is allowed. So this will work. Let's say in the practical how it works. I have two virtual machine launched. These are the virtual machine which I launched in my previous session. I'm going to use the same virtual machines. If you see my virtual machines, And if you go to the settings, you can see network. These are this is connected with the net, and the another one is also connected with the net. So if you try to do IPA here, IPA, you'll see the IP address is 10.0.2.15 and IP IPA connection is 10.0.2.15. Both machines have same IP address. There is no way I can ping one machine to the another machine because both are the IP address same. So you never know whether it's pinging its own or it's trying to ping this one. But you should be able to ping your host operating system, which is, let me open my terminal. ipconfig. So if you see here, what is my host IP address? Host IP address is, should be the one, ping. It's able to access my host machine. Ping. This is also working. Okay. So this should be okay to you. Let's go to the next one, which is the net network now. Net network. So what is net network? Net network is similar to net, just like net, but there is a one subtle difference here. If you try to launch, let me try to copy this one if I can. I should not be able to copy. Anyways, for net network, if you're trying to launch your machine, virtual machine, for example, you have VM1, VM1, you have VM2, VM2, or you have any other virtual machine, VM3, all are connected via the same device here, which is, let me pick up a different color. So all will be connected to a single router, virtual router. This will be a virtual router, and this is again within the boundary of your Oracle VirtualBox. Oracle VirtualBox. So this is how it is. Like it will also provide you the facility of NAT DHCP. So if I take here, so it will have the functionality of NAT DHCP. So basically what happens, you have only one single device. So I should make one change in this diagram, which is not this one, not this one, not this one. It basically provides you facility of a internal switch. There is an internal switch which works. So I should draw, this is something like this. So it provides you with a internal switch, internal switch. So what it does, so internal switch is connected to this one, this VM is connected to internal switch, this is connected to internal switch, and this is connected to internal switch. Internal switch in turn will be able to have these VM on the same internal network, and it will also have the external connectivity to the outside. And this again is connected to the what do you say, your host computer. This is your host computer where network adapter is there, network adapter is there, so it does the communication from here. So what it means, like these all VMs are on the same network, so they should be able to communicate with each other. So there is a communication possible now. If you see here, this machine should be able to ping this one and this one and this one and this one and vice versa, and this one. So all would be working this time around. This will be okay, this will be okay, this will be okay. So these all will be able to see each other, and it will also have the internet connection. Internet connection, internet connection. Okay, hope this should be clear as well. So in this particular case, what happens? Here you see the IP address is going to the same, but in this case, because there is a virtual router attached and internal switch is there, so each of them will have a different IP address allocated. For example, this will have 10.0.2.18. It will have 10.0.2.19, and this will have 10.0.2.19.20. So all will have the different IP address, but all will be on the same network. Same network IP address. This will be, for example, its default gateway is 10.0.2.0/24. So this is the network, and these are the IP address being distributed from this one. So it will have the internet connection as well. So if you try to ping, it should ping each other as well, and it should be able to communicate to the outside world also. Let's see in the practical, if I go to my virtual boxes, one virtual box and the second virtual box. So right now these are connected with the NAT. I need to change it to NAT network. For that I'll have to shut down my machine. Power off, power off. Go here, network, nets to NAT network. Okay, and the second one is NAT to NAT network. Okay, I should be able to start these now. Let's start one by one. Starting my machines. I'll go to terminal. I'll open the terminal here as well. Now I should be able to see the IPA. This is 10.0.2.15 and IPA. This is 10.0.2.17. So these are two IP addresses, as you can see. Both are on the same network. So if I try to ping 10.0.2.17, it should work, and it should ping 10.0.2.15. I tried to pick that as well. This is working as well. Okay, so these should be able to ping my host machine as well. As you know, my IP address is, what was that, 172 27,241. Okay, let's try. Ping 10, 172, 27, 27.240.1, 240.1. Yeah, it's pinging now. So ping 172.27.240.1. Yep, it works. It pings as well. Cool. So as you see, like my host machines are able to ping each other, and they are able to see and ping the host machine as well, and it will have the internet connectivity. If I do ping google.com, it should work. Yeah, it's working. That means it has internet connectivity. Ping google.com. Yes, it has the internet connectivity as well. So yeah, this was net network. I'm going to shut down my machines. There is some graphic card issue with my machines, so let's see. Let it go on like that. We'll see it later on. Third thing is, now we are going to see the third type of network, which is net network. Now we can see internal network, internal network. So now the third one is internal network. Internal network. So what is internal network? Internal network, as the name implies, so machines will be able to see each other, but it will not have any connection with the host machine or the external internet connectivity. So this means, like if you are launching your virtual machine, virtual machine, and you have your virtual machine number 2, virtual machine number 2. So these two will be connected by internal switch. There would be a internal switch, just like as we had in the net network. This is the internal switch. So internal switch will give them the uh, it will be connected via the internal switch, and it will have the different IP address allocated to it. So it will have the IP address, for example, 192.168.1.50, and this might have 192.168, sorry, 168.1.52 IP address. So these are the, for example, this is the IP address being allocated via the virtual switch. So these all will be provided by the internal software of the Oracle VirtualBox. So this is all under the Oracle VirtualBox. Oracle VirtualBox. So these two machines will be able to ping each other. They should be able to communicate with each other, but nothing else more than that. So this is going to communicate. This is going to communicate with each other. That is okay, but it wouldn't have any connection with the outside world. If your this is your uh, host operating system, and this is your physical network switch, network adapter, I'm sorry. So this will not have any communication with it. So it is not there, it is not there at all. So no connection. So these machines runs in a isolation. So these machines should not be able to ping the host machine as well. These are just like internal. Let's see how it works in the practical things. I am going to, what I'm going to do, I'm going to um, trying to change my network type from here. Let's see if I can do it. This is the network wired. Okay, wired connection, wired, network is off. Let's see. I'll shut down and bring it on once I change the network. So I'll do the same thing with the another one. Go to the VirtualBox, change the network type, to internal network, click OK, and the second one is internal network as well. Network is internal network, inet. Okay, so once you do that, you start them one by one. Okay, here I am. After starting my virtual machines, I have changed the network to internal network. I would like to make a correction. The information which I gave to you is slightly incorrect. I told you like it will have the internal address by default. It's actually not true. Will these machine will not be having any internal address, so I will retract this thing. Why this will not have any IP address? Because it doesn't has any IP DHCP server. That's why it's not going to have any IP address. So this means like internally these machines will not be able to communicate to each other. If they have to communicate to each other, they will have to allocate the IP address by ourselves. Then only these machines will be able to communicate to each other. So for example, if we allocate any IP address, we can manually assign the IP address 192.168 dot 1.11. We can do that, and the other one 192 dot 168 dot 1.12. We can allocate the IP address or something similar, so that it should be able to communicate to each other. Okay, so here we am. So if I see the IPA, it doesn't has any IP address, you see here, and similarly it doesn't has IPA any IP address with each other. So if we have to allocate the IP address, we'll have to do it manually. How do we do it? We can go to the network options within this virtual machine, go to settings, wired settings. Within the wired setting, you go and allocate the IP address. So actually you should go to the sudo nmtui is the one functionality you can use. Edit a connection, wired connection, wired connection, edit a connection, edit, device name is this, internet. IPv4 connection is, I'll have to do it manual. Within the manual, if you do, we'll have to allocate the IP address. Here you can attach the address 192.168 dot 192.168.1.11. You can do the OK, back, OK, IPA. It has the IP address. Similarly, we can do sudo nmtui. Nmtui is the network connection manager. So we go there, edit connection, and then we go to the IPv4 configuration. We can do manual, and within the manual we can attach 192.168.1.1.12. Okay, and go back. Okay. Okay, if I do IPA, it will have the IP address allocated to 192.168.1.12. You see here, this is .12 and this is 1.11. If I ping 192.168.1.11, sorry, 12, you should be able to ping it now, and it should be able to ping it now as well. Ping 192.168.1.11. So yeah, they are able to communicate to each other. But if I try to do ping google.com, so it doesn't have any internet connectivity, even it's not resolving the name ping google.com. Yep, so it doesn't has any connectivity to the internet. And I can try connection to my host system as well. It should not have any connectivity though. My IP address is this one, 172.27 ping 172.27.240.1. Was it one? Yeah, dot one. Let's try. Yeah, network is unreachable. It doesn't has any connectivity. And similarly here, ping 170.27.240.1. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, cool. So this was the internal network. Let's go over to the third type of the network which we want to discuss, which is network, internal network. We can see which network we are going to see. This is the network, internal network. Now we can see the host only network. Okay, let me shut down the virtual machine. Shut down. Shut down. Okay, here we are after starting the virtual machine by changing the network to the host only network. So I'm going to open the terminal, and let's see what's the IP addresses we have got. IPA is 192.168.1.11, and for this one IPA is 192.168. Okay, so that could be because we did not change the network address manual configuration, because we were using the internal network with the manually assigned IP addresses. Let me go to the network settings, and once I go to the settings, IPv4, it should be DHCP automatic. I do click apply, and that's it. And here the same thing, word settings, network, IPv4 automatic, and apply. Let's disconnect and then connect it again. Okay, so let's see if we have the different IP address now. IPA. Okay, so now we have got the IP address 192.168.56.107, and for this one we have got the 108. So we have got the IP addresses, which is 192.168.56.108. Why we have got the address range in 56? Because if we go to the VirtualBox, and if we go to the file tools network manager and go to the host only and the network, we see there is a adapter, and which is configured with the IP address 192.168.56.1, and for it go to the DHCP tab, and then DHCP tab we see whatever the IP addresses it's going to assign is after 192.168.56.100, and its starting address is 101 to 254. So that means we whatever the IP address we have got 192.168.56 dot any address which is above 100 but less than 254 is within this IP address range. So this IP address is because of the host only network. So what's the concept of the host only network? Host only network is simply as its name states, it gives the access to the host machine only, and internal machines can communicate with each other, and they still do not have the external internet connection, but they will have the connection to each other virtual machine and also to the host. In a sense, this is a variation of the internal network. Internal network, you had the communication between the virtual machine itself, but not the host machine. Now in the host network you have the communication between the internal network machines, but also the host network. There is no internet connectivity in both cases, but yeah, I mean you can communicate with the host also when you are utilizing the host only network. So how does it works basically? So if we go to the our text editor, the fourth one is host only. So within the host only we have the similar setup as of this one, but what it does, it also has a virtual adapter, host only adapter allocated to added to this diagram. It will be basically here, host only adapter that will have the network connectivity with this one. Mind you, this host only network adapter will have the separate network address range, and it's not connected with the default IP address which has been allocated to this default router. So there would be two networks within the uh, within the um, within the host computer system. One is the allocated normally as it does via the router, and the second one will be created by the Oracle VirtualBox. That would be a host only adapter. It will have a separate address range which is allocated to the virtual machines, and that address range is denoted by the DHCP address which we showed just now. So here we have draw our virtual machines. This is your VM1, VM1. This is going to be your VM2. Oops. Draw menu. This is your VM2, and this will be a internal switch to talk to each other. Internal switch. That will talk to each other, and this is the boundary of your VirtualBox. And within the VirtualBox we will also have host only adapter. Host only adapter. So host only adapter, it will be separate from your home computer. If you draw your network here, this is your home PC, and this is your network adapter. Within that, network adapter, and here also you do not have the internet connectivity. This will have a separate IP address, and this is your default gateway is 192.168.56.100 slash something something. So this is separate network, and this is connected to the switch, and switch is allocating the IP addresses from this IP address range. So this will be 192.168.56. Whatever the IP address it was having. What was that? 107, and the other one is 108. 107, 192, 168.56.108. So this is your typical setup with the host only. Host only, you'll have the additional host only adapter, and it will have the IP address, and you'll get the IP address with the help of this DHCP. So this has the DHCP, and this is the default gateway provided by the DHCP host only adapter. So in a sense, like, host only adapter is better than the internal network. Why? Because in the internal network you have to allocate the IP addresses manually, whereas we have the DHCP server provided by the host only adapter in the case of host only, and it's responsible for providing the automatic IP addressing. So yeah, here's the another one. So okay, so this covers the host only network as well. Let's see what other network adapter we still need to discuss. Go to settings, network, generic NAT network we have discussed. Bridge adapter we have left with. Okay, this is going to be the last one. Okay, so fifth one is bridge only network adapter. Fifth one is bridged. Okay, so what is bridged? Bridged, as its name implies, bridge. That's a that the setup is just like that. Oracle VirtualBox provides uh, it emulates such like in a way like VM is appears to be on the network of your home computer or the home office address. So it is most permissive. If we have to draw the diagram for this one, this is going to be something like this one. So you'll have the Oracle VirtualBox here, and so you have VM1 here, VM1, VM2, and suppose that we also have a VM3. All these VMs are provided a physical IP address. So these are connected. These are connected to your physical home LAN. So home network adapter of your home PC. This is your home PC, and this is connected to the physical LAN. Physical LAN, and these VMs are also connected to this one. In terms of the network, okay. So for the home network, so for, if your router, here is your router, so it will have IP address, some IP address for this one, and on the same range IP1, this will also be IP2 and IP3, IP4. So this brings your VMs just like another machine on your home network or the office network to the router. Bridge adapters puts the guest LAN in the host LAN, just as if it is the virtual unmanaged switch were placed in the host network card. Okay, so this should be pretty clear. Now this allocates a new IP addresses on the home network range. We can see this in demo. If I try to change the property network adapter, I'll have to restart my machines. I'll be back after restarting my machine and change the network to bridge the adapter. Here we are after starting my VMs. I have changed the network adapters to bridge mode. Now they will have the IP address of their own. Let's see if it has. Do IPA, we get the IP address of 192.168.1.133. Let's see where do we get. If I go to the IPA, we get the IP address of 192.168.1.132. So let's try if they can ping each other. 192.168.1.132. 133. Yep, they can ping google.com. It can ping Google as well. Ping 10.192.168.1.132. Can ping google.com. It can go Google as well. So this is the all description of the different kind of virtual adapters. So use the one based on your requirement. For most purpose, if you are a developer or if you are a tester or you are a general user, most probably your network should be able to satisfy most conditions. Or if you have more than one virtual machine, you may want to use net network for that purpose. And if there is a requirement like you need to bring another machine on your network, if that's a requirement, go for the bridge adapter. Okay, with this one I conclude this overview on the networking on the virtual network, on the VirtualBox. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, and what do you think about it. If you have specific question on any of the topic related to the VirtualBox, ping me or send me a message in the comments down below. Thank you very much. Have a good day ahead. See ya. Take care. Bye.